All right, this is my review for Practical Magic. So, Sandra Bullock, she's great. Um, I've heard about this movie throughout the years. I've never seen it, but just every time a new movie that has a witch in it, people always say, "Oh, Practical Magic." They always bring up Practical Magic, and I'm like, I didn't know what it was about. I don't know anything about it. I just know Sandra Bullock's in it. I was like, all right, let me check it out. This movie was charming. It was good. It was definitely give you that spooky Halloween feels, but also it's not what I thought it was gonna be. And partly because obviously when I go in, I don't really watch the trailers or nothing. I didn't even read the synopsis. I just said I'm gonna watch this movie, and when I pressed play, like I went through the whole thing. It was not too long. It was a good experience, and you know what, I was surprised because the story was really good. I like the story, and the story, they basically cursed Sandra Bullock's family. Like basically any man that they fall in love with is due to die at some point. So like there's like you can't change it, pretty much. And so Sandra Bullock is like, I don't want to fall in love. She even says it as a kid. She even makes a spell to get a guy with like one green eye, one blue eye, and like flips pancakes perfectly. Like she basically puts a spell for the perfect guy because she's like, all right, he's not never gonna exist. So that way I'll never fall in love, and don't have to worry about it. But she does end up falling in love in the beginning of the film, and that her first love, he bites the dust at some point, which is pretty sad. But here's the thing, when I was setting up the story that way, I thought it was gonna be like almost like a rom-com a little bit, because you know what it is. I just like rom-coms. I like a lot of different type of movies, but I'm a sucker for a really good rom-com. Like if it's really good and chemistry is good, like I'm gonna like your movie. So I don't know why. You know what it is? It's because Sandra Bullock. I'm used to like seeing her in like romantic comedy sometimes, and I think partly because one of my favorites with her is The Proposal, and I just like her. When I think about her, I think about like rom coms and a lot of different things. I like think about Speed. Like I think about her and someone she has chemistry with, playing off really well. So in this film, you get that a bit, but that's not what the film really was about. The film was really about this group of sisters. It's about these two sisters and the witch family, and it was unique. It was unique. I definitely didn't expect it to have as much heart as it did, and I just I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't like think I was not gonna like it or anything. I just thought there was gonna be like a lot more magic. There is magic in it, but I just thought it was gonna be a little bit more use of the magic. And there was. I grew up watching Charmed. If anyone's seen Charmed, that's what I grew up on. I grew up watching Charmed, and like that's like magic every episode. And I haven't seen Charmed in so long, but like that's what I grew up. That's the witches I grew up on. I grew up on Charmed, so like I'm used to seeing like every week they're doing a new spell. You know what I mean? They're fighting a new foe, and yeah. So like that's how that was like my introduction to witches. And then I never seen Practical Magic, so I was like, I'm gonna check it out, and I really liked it. I think that let me stop saying I'm trying to stop saying let's try that. I think that the story where she has her sister's more of the wild one, and she's more the one, like, who goes out and leaves the town, and she's normally staying home, and she's the one who found her first love and had like two kids, and then before he got taken out because of that curse on the family. And she really, the relationship between the sisters I really like, because there's a part where Sandra Bullock is down, after her husband passes away, and she comes to the house, and she's the girl who's away, her sister who's the wild one. She comes and she consoles her. She's like lying in bed, she's stuck under the covers, and like she just goes under the covers, and they're talking and stuff. Like there's a lot of ways they shot this movie where it feels very personal, and I miss that. I know they do it sometimes in newer movies too, but like for the most part, even when this movie started, with the way the soundtrack was and the way it looked and the way it felt, it just like has so much heart. And I think that's why I'm kind of gonna go back and watch a lot of films that either I haven't seen, or like I just want to revisit, because I think it does give something to you. Like that's why I love the movie experience, or even the theater experience. But I think there's something to be said definitely for like just watching like a good film. Like it's like almost like good for your soul. You know what I mean? So I kind of felt that when I was watching this film, even though it's like about witches and stuff, but like it was genuinely heartwarming. I didn't expect it to feel like this family oriented, and like the sisters and her mom and her aunt, the older witches, and like they you could feel this family like they've been witches for a while, and like they're still hanging out, and they're still like kind of learning from each other. And obviously they had that curse in the family, so it's like if someone falls in love with someone, eventually like there's like this black beetle, and you can hear the beetle sound, and when you hear that sound, that's when like your husband's gonna die soon, or your love is gonna die soon. And by the end of the film it seems like it's broken with the new person that she ends up with. But I do I do think that the ending was fun. It was very different than I thought it was gonna be. And then also this movie kind of switches gears. That's what I'm forgetting to say right now. It switches gears like towards the middle of the film into like almost like a mystery, almost like not even a who done it, because we know who did it. I'm not gonna spoil that part, but there's a something that happens where the girls do something in self-defense, and like now there's a detective in town. And that portion took me for a loop, because I was like, wow, like it's turning almost into like this detective walking around the house trying to figure out this stuff with these witches. He's going around town asking these questions, and it just switches a little bit. It does switch a genre a little bit. And and it's still fun though. It's still fun. And then also because the detective ends up being the person that she put a spell in the beginning when she was a child, saying that someone she wants to find who's like basically her perfect type, creating it so it doesn't exist, so she never falls in love, but ends up being this guy. He's just drawn to her. He's drawn to her. But then also like there's a portion where I like that she even tells him. She tells him about the spell, and she's like, I don't want to love you because I don't want to know if it's just because of the spell or you actually love me. And then they end up finding their way back to each other. But I think that I'm glad that the film had her actually express that to him, because it makes it, I feel like it makes the relationship more real, instead of them having them just come together in the movie ending, and him learning about the spells and the witches and everything like that. But overall, what this film really did though, it made me, I don't know, I feel like I haven't watched a lot of films with like witches. Like I'm thinking about it, and this was fun. This was fun. I didn't expect this to be this fun. I think the only thing I pretty much grew up on was like Hocus Pocus, and like I said, what's the name of it? Shoot. Hocus Pocus, like I said, and Charmed. And what else? Definitely watched Bewitched, I'm pretty sure, with Will Ferrell, if that's what it's called, a long time ago. And then there was also, so I'm gonna say something right now. Every generation has different movies they grow up with. So I understand if I say this movie and no one's gonna know what it is. But I've been thinking about rewatching these movies for the spooky season this year, because these movies did bring me a lot of joy when I was younger. And if anyone has seen, this is how you'll know if you're around what time you've been born. If anyone has seen the films Halloween Town, if that brings something to you inside and in your mind, then you know you were born at a certain time. I'm sure, I don't know if anyone has seen Halloween Town, but I grew up watching Halloween Town, and I've seen it so many times when I was younger. Every Halloween Town used to be on Disney Channel, and I watched it so many times. And Halloween Town just like, it also has that spooky feel, but it's also like fun. And then it's also kind of dark. It's very dark, and sometimes, because like I remember watching it, feeling like it was a little spooky and a little scary sometimes. I don't know if it was just because I was younger or what, but it did have a tone of like spookiness and parts where you feel like you're kind of like, dang, you don't know what's gonna happen. And the characters are very interesting, and the actors are great. I still remember. So I might rewatch that. I don't know. But if anyone knows about Halloween Town, you just put in the comments, yes, Halloween Town, if you know what it is. But if you don't, it's cool. But Halloween Town it's like if you grew up I was born in 1996. So if you were born like in the 90s and you grew up with TV like in the 2000s, there's certain things you got. And that was one of them. but then I also grew up with like a lot of other things as well. But anyways, take care. I don't want on a tangent, but it is spooky season, so I didn't have to bring that up. But it's Deja Notre Dame. Spread love and light. Take care, and practical magic.